friends, and welcome to Bollywood hips and buttocks. Fabulous 50s, so it's 50 reps and stuff again, which is a great way of knowing that we've done enough. And our first one, we're just going to warm up, my darling. So here we go. So just hands on hips and step side to side. Just warming gently up, maybe with a few shoulder shrugs. So we want to access our booty. So we're going to now add some heel digs. So heel dig, heel dig. So it's crossing over. When you activate and flex your foot, you can start working up into the back of the thighs and the booty. And the reason we're doing buttocks and hips together is because your glutes are a huge support for your pelvis and your hips. They're all interconnected. Okay, my friends, starting getting wide. We're going to just do a few pulses in our squats because we're going to do quite a lot of work in this position because it's a really good way of accessing hips and buttocks. So just nice and gently. Make sure you've got the tailbone pointing down to the floor and your spine is nice and straight. Just little pulses. Start shifting the weight from one side to the other. And inevitably, when you're working your hips and buttocks, your thighs are going to get a bit of a workout too, because they're also interconnected. And of course, your lower back will also get a good workout. Okay, I'm having too much fun just dancing here, so let's do some work. So the first thing we're going to do is actually a little bum kick, which is also quite nice. So have your toes facing forward. We're just going to start flexing. So it's a different way of working the glute, and of course you get a lovely quad stretch at the front. Pushing through the balls of the feet for a bit of extra bounce if you feel you'd like some. And with arms, what we're going to do, have one arm forward, swing under and over. Okay, and we're going to do 50 bum kicks. Nice and straightforward, 25 with one on one side, and then we'll just drop arms. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Changing arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Almost there. And a few for luck. Lovely. And step it wide, toes turned out. So now we're going to work in some squats. So make sure your knees don't overextend over the, you want to stay within the ankle, you want a little pelvic tuck, so you can really feel this whole hips and buttock area engaged. And we're just going to take little steps forward. So one step and the other, keeping it nice and wide, nice high seat. So pushing into those heels, keeping wide. That's it. And back. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're now going to isolate buttocks. And we're just going to squeeze our hips up to one side and then dip down and then squeeze up to the other side, okay? So really squeeze those buttocks and pull in the stomach at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Turn your toes in, run it out a little bit. So we've got another 20 to do yet. So just bum kick. This is releasing it out. And now let's go back in and go back to those buttock squeezes. So tuck. So again, we're going to squeeze up. It's like a little swing. Squeeze up. 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, 9, 10. Hard work. Take a break whenever you need. Shake it out. Oh my goodness, I'm feeling it. But then if you're not feeling it, you don't know if you're making any progress, do you? And then run that out. Oh! Bum kick relief. That's just to stretch out those thighs. They get it more than the buttocks, I think. Okay. So we've got another 10. You can do it. Here we go. Get that tuck and squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Almost there. 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, lovely. And just do another little run. Just shake all the sensation into the area. That was challenging, wasn't it? So next we're going to, we'll do a football reach. So we're going to work the outer part of the hips, okay, by pushing with our heel. So the foot is flexed, protecting the knees. This knee is slightly bent for push off. She says falling over. And at the same time you're going to reach. So you're going to press the side of the foot up to the ceiling, reach. Then we're going to have a little squat and reach. Are you okay, my friends? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really push through the heel. So squeeze those buttocks. You want to work the buttocks. Get them working there. And then. Okay. Keep going, my darlings. Really push through those heels. Get that heel up as high as you comfortably can without compromising. Now we're going to keep going, but with our arms pressing across the chest. Keep squeezing into those buttocks. We've lost music, but that's all right. I think I've got a problem with my stereo. I think it's not charged very well, so the music keeps going. Oh my goodness, anyway, now you can hear my panting much more clearly. I haven't counted any of those. Feels enough though, doesn't it? Excellent. Let's assume that was another fabulous 50s in the back. So, I'm really starting to feel this area now. So, our next one is back in squat, because it's the best way. Bollywood is fantastic for a lot of these sort of squat positions. Really good way of accessing this area. And our next one is simply crunching up, doing a little pelvic circle, but as in belly dance, you're not going to stick your bum out ever. So you're always forward, and all you're going to do is tilt your pelvis up and then release. Squeeze it up and release, okay? So there's no dumping into that lower back. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Really squeeze the belly and the pelvic floor. 6, 7. Crunching it all in. 8, 9, and 10. And then change direction. Crunch it all in. Squeeze up that pelvic floor. Okay, the other direction always feels weird, doesn't it? And remember, don't tilt into that lower back. You're just squeezing upwards and release. Squeeze upwards and release. Squeeze upwards and release. Okay, shake the legs out. Right, so we've done 10 in alternating directions. That's not a fabulous 50 though, is it? So we'll finish off with having a heel raise, lean into that side, and then lean into that side. Okay, so just stretching and pressing. Oh, that's actually really quite nice. So you're up on the heel, up on the heel, up on the heel. Good. And now both heels off the floor if you can, pelvic tuck, pull up that pelvic floor, but mostly squeeze those buttocks. Squeeze. Now push your palms together, press your finger pads together, because we're not trying to push into the wrist because that stresses the wrist. Push your finger pads together and at the same time pull up and squeeze up the pelvic floor. So your whole center line is engaged from here all the way up. So squeezing, push those finger pads, squeeze those buttocks together so your heels are raised. If it's too much having heels raised, you can lower them, but try and scissor those thighs and squeeze those buttocks hard as you can as you push into those finger pads, pull up the pelvic floor, pull in the belly button. So with the 50 for this is just holding for 50 seconds. So you're doing really well, my friends. As I said, if it's too much with the heels raised, just lower the heels. But otherwise, or go back into it after a break. But squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze those buttocks so tightly. Squeeze those thighs together. Press those finger pads really strongly together. Sometimes squeezing everything to the centre is easier than just trying to do one part of the body at a time. So a little bit more, pull up the belly, pull up the belly, pull up the belly. A little bit longer. And we'll call that 50 seconds, I've no idea. Turn the toes, soften the knees, slide your hands gently, gently, gently down. Tuck your chin, have a little back release, hold the elbows. And you can shift the weight from one foot to the other if that feels nice. Hold the elbows if you want a little extra traction for the spine. Just shifting about. Oh, that feels nice. Okay, release those elbows if you're holding them. Crunch in the belly, keep the chin tucked as you trickle all the way back up. Oh my goodness. Right, friends, after that little glutes and hips workout, and there's also the belly dance one as well to do, I think you will really appreciate the hip stretch and release yoga that will also be available. Anyway, my friends, have fun and I'll see you soon.